What's up, you guys? We are back for another one. The final one. Anyways, I don't know why the hell I'm so excited, but I am excited. And basically, this is my final video of 2023. And why am I looking over there? I need to look forward. Okay, let me close that out. Listen. I just want to say, I know I always say this all the time, but I just want to say thank you to every single person that has carried me through this year, honestly and truthfully. I know that I say this all the time, but I have to get credit where it's due. All of you that have reached out to me throughout this year, all of you that have supported me, every single person that has liked and commented on my videos, shared my videos, anything that you have put forward to put myself in the forefront, I just want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to the Royal Mafia. I want to say thank you to the Misfits, the Crazers, and the Rebels. Shout out to all you guys, everyone that performs their duties and what they do. Thank you so much. I love you so much. This year has been an amazing, crazy roller coaster of a year. I got diagnosed with HIV and I'm surviving on it. I got burnt. I lost a best friend and she burnt me in Trinidad and Tobago. I got out of a 5-year abusive relationship with someone that I dearly did love. I lost a lot of friends this year. It was a very, very tough year for me. But you know what? I carried it through and I made it through. And I'm so proud of myself. Honestly, everything that I've been through, not having a job throughout this whole entire year, being able to carry myself through the year, just being present and being here, I give myself all that credit. But I want to say I can't do it without you. I can't do it without the community. I love you guys and thank you so much, honestly. It's been very, very tough. It's been very, very hard. I feel like I found myself in a deeper place this year. And all I can do is just give grace for where it is. I have to give grace to the Most High God that has protected me and kept me here, kept me sane. To my very close friends that watch and protect me and make sure that I'm okay all the time. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, like, it's been a very tough year. I've been hiding and it's been very difficult, and I'm happy to look forward for 2022 and what it has to offer. Um, I've been here for 2 years now, and just seeing that I'm able and I'm capable of carrying it and keeping this moving forward and progressing. I can do nothing but give thanks. I want to look back throughout this year and everything that I have went through, the amount of tears, the amount of skin that I have shed, the person that I first started out in 2023 and the person that I'm going into 2024 is completely two different people. And like I said, 2024 for me is going to be the year of the Otala butterfly, flying into strength and transformation and just transforming into something bigger, something better, flying into strength, finding the weakest points of yourself, understanding it, and not staying in that place, and being able to move forward and push yourself forward. And all those things are very important. And this year for me, it was an eye opener. I was very much in a lot of isolation. I've been in isolation for quite some time now, and it's been difficult, but I feel like throughout this journey, I've learned to understand myself and understand situations and so many things, going through my spiritual journey and learning everything that I know now. It's just an eye opener, being able to connect with, my followers and everyone. I just feel so grateful. I have nothing negative to say. Even though there's so many negatives that have happened throughout this year, I feel like because I've went through those experiences, I was able to grow in such a positive manner. and to grow out of being in a negative space and incorporating or welcoming hate or negativity into your life. There is a possibility or a mindset of just being positive. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna have negative thoughts. You will have negative thoughts through the journey, but it's your choice and your mindset to be able to stay positive and not choose to be negative. I've been battling through deep, deep depression this year. I've had crazy suicidal thoughts, honestly and truthfully. Um, it's been very, very difficult. So many emotions going here, going there. And I feel like this year for me, 2023, has made me so strong, has made me so vulnerable. But it made me so vulnerable, me to tell my story. Like, I was really sitting here trying to think, like, should I tell them? Should I not tell them? And the honest truth is, I didn't have to tell my story. I could have kept it. Nobody would have ever known. But I told myself, I want other people to be able to understand and to move forward and believe in yourself, that a diagnosis is not gonna stop you from living your best life, from being the best person that you can be, from being, you know, the best version of yourself. Don't allow that diagnosis to hinder you from finding amazing experiences, from finding the beauty in life. And, just because you get that diagnosis doesn't mean that you have to stop life and stop everything. I say keep pushing forward, living your truth, living your authenticity, love, be loved, share love. We're going through very turbulent times. 2024, even though I'm very optimistic, I know it's going to be a very tough year. And all I can say is that we have to come together, be very close to each other, watch each other, protect each other's backs, be here for one another, listen to one another. It's a lot that's going on. I think like the only thing that we really have right now is community and each other. We can definitely, as humans, heal each other and, find the beauty in the darkness. I'm not gonna say that through this whole year, I've always been positive and happy, because I have not. I've been battling this depression in like another level of like just not wanting to be here, honestly and truthfully. And, I have my days where I just want to run away and not be present. But then I tell myself, and I take two or three steps back and tell myself, you have a purpose and you have something that needs to be heard. And there's other people that are fighting the same thing or worse. So for me, I think that this year I grew so much. I found a better understanding of myself, and I'm honestly just really proud of myself, because I really could have failed. I really could have just, stopped. Like, this was the year that I feel like it could have broke me. Like, it literally broke me. It's been hard. It's been difficult. I really don't like, because of everything that I've been through, I feel like there was a disconnection with my audience and my followers. But you guys have shown me that no matter what, you're going to stick it through and you're going to be here for me. And I think that that's the beauty of what came out of it for me in this year. You know, it's just been it's just been very hard. And I don't have other words to say that. If not, I would be lying. It wasn't easy. Now, the positives for me throughout this year, the biggest, most beautiful positives for me throughout this year is being able to have a lot of people that have, like, this year I have seen the most people in my life and be present in my life and want to be present in my life. And I greatly appreciate that, because I didn't have that before. So I'm so grateful about that, to be able to see people that want to be present, that want to be here, that show me that, they're not going anywhere, and that no matter what, we're still gonna stick it through. And I'm not just talking about my friends. I'm talking about people that have reached out, people that I see, like family, friends, or whatever it is. A lot of people that just, like before people would just hide or whatever, but now people do reach out and, like, let themselves be present. And I think that I'm gratefully appreciated of that. Next year, I just want to be able to open up more. I want to really come out of isolation. I feel like I am very much needed in this moment and in this time. So I'm just praying to the Most High to be able to, come out of this. I wouldn't say funk, but it is protection. I'm protecting myself from a lot of things that are happening into the world. The devil is very much dancing, whether you believe in him or not, but he very much is, and he has a grip on us in a way that we cannot let him, win, And what I mean by that is whether you believe in a higher power or you don't, but there is influences that cause you to have a negative mindset, to have a negative appearance, to, be negative towards other people. Whatever it is, that is an influence that does affect us, that does affect us around us, people around us, and so on and so forth. And, for me, I battled through that this whole entire year. Excuse me. And I'm just sincerely grateful. I just want to be more present. I want to be more alive. It's been crazy. We're literally at 400 followers now. I'm very much sure next year I'm going to be putting in so much work. We will make it to 1,000 by next year for sure. Our views are getting there. Like, everything is falling into place. The only reason why things haven't moved to where it is because I needed time. I just needed time to recover. I needed time to get my headspace. I've been battling this alone. I've been trying to stay as positive as I can. And if I had a negative mindset or a negative space or whatever, I just, stayed to myself. And that's really why things have slowed down. Not for nothing. It's just that I needed time to heal. I needed time to understand. I needed time to love on myself. And just, let go of a lot of things that have affected me in such a way. Like, so much trauma just happened in less than 3 months. And it was just like, once I came back from Trinidad, I tried to bounce back, and I did it. And I just said to myself, this is cool. This is okay. But you need time to heal. You need to stop. You need to slow down. And you need time to heal. I so badly wanted to make so much content. I wanted to put out things for December. It just wasn't going to be possible. I literally would have probably went crazy. There's times when you have to choose health over everything else. And this year for me, that was that. And honestly, I've never seen doctors so much. So me getting my diagnosis necessarily wasn't a bad thing. The only thing that was bad about it is finding new connections, finding people that, are educated on the diagnosis. And the truth is, you can do whatever you want with HIV once you are undetectable and you're on your pills. Nothing will ever happen to your partner or anyone around you. However, just make sure that the other person that you're with knows their status as well. That's highly important. And for me moving forward, now that I have turned into, not now, because I've always been an HIV activist. I started in 2019 when I did my collaboration with the GMHC, which is the Gay Men's Health Center for AIDS in New York City. That was back in, I want to say it was May, don't quote me, but it was 2019 before the pandemic hit. And, when I collaborated with them, that was like a no-brainer. And look now, a few years later, less than 2 or 3 years later, And I don't regret anything that I have done because I've been an open book. You know, I've lived and I've loved, and I don't regret anything that I've done. Um, so for me, 2023 was a learning experience. You know, I know what I want, I know what I'm going for, and yeah, like, I don't know what else to put it as. Like, there's so many negatives that came out of this year, but because I'm such a positive person now, or I try to see negative things in a brighter light, I see it as a lesson. I see these things as lessons to be learned, lessons to be moved on. I think that my status is something that has put me to amplify and educate people on, you know, your sexual status, your sexual activity, and stuff like that, you know, whatever, and so on and so forth. And mind you, don't get it twisted. Don't think that it's only gay men that get HIV. There is women, a lot of women too, as well. And honestly, it's just someone that wasn't responsible and someone that didn't take care of the other person, or somebody that just was, you know, not doing their part. And for me, it's like, I don't want to blame nobody. I just want to move forward, and I just want to educate people and, you know, move forward with this. I believe that in 5 to 10 years, we're already moving forward. So 5 to 10 years, we will not have HIV or anything like that. Um, so for me, this was an educational experience. It is, and it still is very tough, you know, understanding everything about it, learning how my body has transitioned through it. Um, I'm just happy that I know about my status and my health and where I'm at. And now that I don't have to worry about that, I used to worry about it so much. Like, it would be in the back of my head all the time. And now that I know where I stand, I know that my health always comes first. Um, I love seeing my doctors. You know, I just love the understanding of my health. And, you know, I feel like this year just taught me so much. And honestly, if you judge me for whatever it is, I mean, that's on you. That's not on me. And yeah, like, may God forgive you and have mercy on you. I don't know. Like, we're just all human. And I think that the most important thing is, well, for me, the most important thing that I have gotten out of this year was community. You know, like, everything has slowed down for me. My numbers started to get very slow because I try to pump out so much content. And I learned that, you know, that's not necessarily what my audience wants. My audience wants me to be happy, to be healthy, to do things genuinely. And that's why I came out with my diagnosis. I didn't have to, and nobody would have ever known, because of the way that I carry myself. I don't take my most vulnerable things and victimize them, you know? I find that, you know, what my most vulnerable things makes me more of a human and makes me more relatable, makes me more understanding, you know? Um, I wouldn't say that this year isn't a tough year. I do miss some people, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta move on, and you gotta let go, and you gotta let God, you know? And it has been difficult to move on from relationships and friendships and people and family, and, you know? But for me, it's just like, I think before, I used to put people first, and I used to always be that people pleaser, and I always used to feed into the happiness of others. That now I feel like I don't want to say I always choose me, But I always make sure I double check on myself. I always make sure, are you okay? Are you happy? Is this something that you want to do? I have a better understanding of myself. And I think that should be reciprocated for everyone else as well. We should always put ourselves first, not in a selfish way, but if you can put yourself first, you can love other people because you have an understanding of what you can offer, of what you love, of what you like. When you don't know what you like, when you don't know what you love, when you don't know those things, how can you love somebody else? And that's honestly the truth. You cannot, because you don't know what you love. So you would feed into anything, you would go for anything. But when you know something, you're going to put yourself in situations and things that reciprocate what you want, and you're going to be a lot happier. And the people around you are going to be a lot happier. And I think that that's something that, moving forward, I have to learn to register a lot because it's been very difficult to understand and to appreciate. But yeah, like honestly, I just love the fact that I'm so close to my small family, um, the people that I see every day. I'm so grateful about that because I didn't want anything else. I think that's my biggest gift that I got out of 2023 is to be very close to the people that I love and to have a relationship with them. And I appreciate it so much and I don't take it for granted whatsoever. Um, Now, for like everything else, like my channel, um, my social media is my platform. Um, I'm very, very grateful. And I just don't know what to say. It's not the same anymore. Before I used to be so out there, before I used to feed into everything like I was just saying, and I had a voice, but I was still finding my voice and still finding myself. And now that I know who I am, coming into being non-binary, whether people believe it or not, I honestly don't care. This is who I am and who I present myself. This is my gender expression. This is my reality, my truth, and who I present myself to be. I'm just happy to be able to live in my truth and be myself finally. I feel like so many years I've tried to, again, please so many people, try to make people happy. Like people, oh, you look so nice as a man. I know I'm a man. You look so, no, like, I love myself. I used to honestly hate when people used to call me queen or girl or she. And the truth is, some people see me like that. Some people see me and call me that because my feminine, overpowers my masculine sometimes. Like my aunts and certain people will literally just call me that. And it's not because before I used to be like, it was disrespectful. And now I've accepted it. That's just who I am. And that's why I'm non binary. I don't want to be a girl, but I still have to, accept my femininity for what it is. And I'm not trying to hide it for nobody. I'm not trying to be those social media people that, like I'm not trying to glorify anything. I'm just being me. I'm just being myself. I don't have a gay community to fall back on. I don't have gay friends. I only have heterosexual people in my community. So if you were to say, oh, I'm trying to copy or emulate somebody else, that would be far from the truth because I don't have examples for me to look behind that. So coming into my truth and living my truth and being happy in myself and just being confident in who I am. I just want to be able to amplify that. I know that I'm going to get a lot of pushback and people are going to, bash me way more than what they have. But being able to be here at 150,000 views now, having so many eyes on me, getting so many bashful comments, so many things, I don't care. I honestly don't care, and I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna be happy as everybody should. And I think that when we can see people that have those examples and those things, I think that we can better, become ourselves, and not have to hide who we truly like. We can live our best selves by not trying to hide who we truly are. And I feel like 2024 is going to do that for me. Um, this year has been a huge experience. Again, losing so many people. I've literally went down the list and cut them out. And the truth is, like, I loved them and I still love them and I wish them the very, very best. But there is times when you do have to let go and move on, because if you continue on the same thing, you're not able to grow and be the better version of yourself. So that's something that I honestly and truthfully had to accept the most hardest way that I could. With isolation, I also learned, and I don't want to encourage that. For me, I had to go through this to be able to understand, to be able to become stronger, to be able to flourish into what I'm becoming now. Because I already know that, I am not accepted, and that's something that I've had to accept. I am not accepted, and I know that. So I have to accept myself and live in my happiness, because imagine me sitting here and being, listening to everyone and not being happy. What's that going to be? I'm going to be unhappy for the rest of my life. No. And then there's going to be people that are around me that do love me, and they're going to have to suffer through the same thing. No, that's not the case. So I think with better understanding and finding the people that love you and that support you, you can find strength. And that's why I say that next year, the Atala butterfly, the most beautiful butterfly there is from the southeastern Florida, um, flying into strength and flying into transformation and endurance, like, is the most beautiful representation of what has transpired for me throughout this year. That's also why I also chose that, because when I got diagnosed, people don't know, before I got diagnosed with this, I've been going to AHF since I was like 18 years old. I am 28 now, so that's like what, 10 years? I've been going to AHF for quite some time. They know me, they've seen me for a very long time. So I already knew that if you are diagnosed with, HIV, the color that it turns is actually blue. It is not red. Even though representation for HIV is red, the color that they show you when you get diagnosed as a positive is actually blue. And that for me was my chance and my subliminal message to be able to incorporate. That's why when in September I came out, September is also the color, the birthstone is sapphire. So it was like multiple things that I was putting into that project. And I know that a lot of people didn't understand that project. I know that, me doing my own thing and me being independent, having my own mind is not the cup of tea that everybody like. I know that I'm not the most popular or anything like that. But for me, it was of importance to be able to make and push out that project, because for me, that was one of the most important things throughout this year. And multiple times, like several years, multiple years, if you go through my timeline and stuff like that, you've seen that I almost every year always put out, a collection of photos for my birthday. But I believe in 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, those years I wasn't able to put it out. So this year I made sure I had to. I had to push out this project. And for me, the gratification that I got out of it was just so beautiful. And I don't care what nobody says. For me, that was or is the most beautiful thing that came out of this year, because it incorporated the darkness that I have been feeling for so long, and the beauty that people see. People only see the outside of a person, but not the inside of a person. And the truthfulness is that the inside of me is very dark. It's a person that is very sad, a person that, hasn't found happiness, that hasn't found the breakthrough to be able to be free. I feel like I'm in a cage that, I'm trying to break out of, trying to find my freedom still to this very day. Um, because even though we say that we accept people for who they are, we truthfully do not. This society does not accept us for who it is. And that's why I wanted to put that out, the black and the darkness of how dark it was. For me, that was so beautiful. Like, some people think that darkness is like something bad, but I've been able to accept the darkness and make it positive. So that's why that project meant so much for me. To other people, they may see it as something ugly, as something, why would he put that out? Whatever it is. But for me, it was just something that was in my mind for so long. When I tell you, I've never done a project so fast and so easy. And the thing is that it's been sitting in my head for months. And mind you, the truth is that I was going to do, like, for that project, I really wanted to do something of like where I was sitting in darkness, and like the blue represented September, my birthstone, but it also represented my HIV diagnosis. And the reason why I put that there is because years down the line, I will be able to look back at it and say to myself, you were strong. You fought through it alone, but you still fought through it. And you never wavered. You never allowed yourself to stay in that position, in that place. And for me, that project was of importance, I don't think nobody knows how deep that project meant to me. And I was happy that I was able to do it, And now that I have came into myself and I know my power and what I'm capable of, I think that now that I've been doing this for so many years now, influencer, like, I've been doing this for so many years now, but being a full-time influencer, I've been doing this for about 2 to 3 years now. And honestly, I used to doubt myself so much. I still have my doubts, but I used to doubt myself so much that I just didn't want to do nothing. I used to try to be so perfect and so like I would try so hard that sometimes I just wouldn't do things because I just wanted to be so perfect. And honestly, that's just who I am. That's the Virgo in me and my perfectionism that I've, whatever. And this year has taught me that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to fall off. It's okay to not be perfect. We're not perfect. We're humans. And honestly, this year really taught me that no matter how much you think that you're in control, God is the only one that has the wheel. Whether you believe in him or not, whatever higher power that you believe in, that's the only one that has the guide and the only one that steers your steering wheel, because you don't know where you could be here tomorrow. And even though I went through what I went through in Trinidad and Tobago, I still gave God thanks for allowing me to see that, for allowing me to go there, for allowing me to see those things. And I don't regret it at all. I really don't, because in that time period, I was able to find a better understanding of myself, to love myself in a deeper way. And I also learned that even though I'm battling through the depression now and stuff like that, I finally realized, like, okay, I have a better understanding of what depression is. And I think that because I have that better understanding, it has been able to keep me pushing. mind you, I don't take any drugs for what I go through. I battle through my things by myself and through my journey. I can take however much amount of pills for it or whatever it is, but I choose not to. I think that mental health and the journey that you go through is something, it's a journey of spirituality and understanding and learning to grow. And I think that once you're able to understand yourself and like once you go through your trauma, right? You get to that trauma. I believe that through work, through putting in what you need to put in, you can uncover things and come out of those things without having to use drugs. Some people do need that more than others. Some people are too far gone. I'm not talking about that. But I am saying that I do believe that through the journey and through the work, you are able to come out on top and to be able to win, you know? It is going to be hard. It is going to be a journey. But if you try hard enough, you know, you can be able to succeed at it. I believe that I am a testament to that, to be honest. And just coming back from there and just seeing you know, like being able to come out of that and feeling that experience, I've been just nothing but grateful um, throughout it. And I feel like now, because of everything that I've been through and God has been able to transform me and take me to another level, I think He has also taught me that a lot of things that I'm getting now is not because of anything other than just the work that I have put in and just the due diligence and just the enduring that I have went through. You know, I think that whenever somebody works hard for something, no matter what that you do, you will always get paid off for it. No matter if you work hard for something, you will always get a reward, and that's just how the universe works, you know, whether it's in this life or the next, you know, you will get paid for it. And I'm just grateful for the understandings and the lessons that I've learned in 2023. I'm happy and grateful to be as close as I am to my community. I will cry for that, honestly, because it's difficult, you know, when you're trying to build something out of nothing and you feel like you're just talking to the abyss and no one is listening, you know. I think that's just the hardest thing to go through. But I also will say that I think the hardest thing is the pressure to hold the crown. And I think that, you know, me being able to hold this crown, it is a lot of pressure. But I'm happy to be able to find an understanding that, you know, it is of importance and I'm not going to give it up. You know, I know that there's a lot of people that want to see me down. There's a lot of people that don't like me. There's a lot of people that, you know, don't want me to exist. There's a lot of people that don't want me here. And I've had to accept that as well too, you know. Not everything is, you know, fairy tales and unicorns and, you know, cotton candy and shit. You know, you need to accept that too. Um, but at the same time, I've come to understand that no matter what, I'm gonna push forward, and this train has to keep on chugging. And until God has chosen for me to leave this earth, or He has called me back home, I will continue on my mission to empower and to move our community forward and to, you know, speak for the truth and not hide the hypocrisy that a lot of the things that are being pushed into the world right now. You know, I protect our community. I protect the LGBT. I protect Black Lives Matter. I protect brown and black. I protect our Hispanics. I protect our babies, our little children. And that includes from the LGBT community as well. You know, it's of importance. A lot of things that we're seeing now is a narrative and it's an agenda that is trying to be pushed. The only narrative and agenda that I'm pushing is the human evolution, to be able to love each other and to be able to, you know, have a better space to be able to grow, because I know how difficult it has been for me to live in my truth and to be myself. And that's not something that I'm trying to glorify. That's just something that I'm trying to be heard, you know. It's one thing to say that we accept everyone, but it's another thing to not see that it's the truth. And that happens even in our own LGBT community, that they say that we accept everyone, but that's not it. I will say honestly, that's far from the truth. I think that a lot of the understanding of where we need to find our space and where we will be able to grow and be able to accept everyone is when we can, you know, eat and divulge off of compassion. And I'm not saying that you need to accept everyone, but you do need to respect everyone. We are all human, we all bleed the same way. No matter what, even if you're transgender, you change your body parts, you still bleed the same way. Everything is just like we're all human. So it's not like a competition on who's better, who's whatever. I think that it's more of like who we have to place in those positions to carry the crown and to be in the platform to be able to push us forward and to open our avenues to have, you know, not being judged for that. You know, I think that a lot of times people say one thing but they do another, and it's been hard, you know. But I'm grateful. I'm honestly grateful throughout this whole year, and I see everyone for who they are, and I'm like I said, I'm just grateful. I don't have anything other than to say than that, you know. I think that we also need to be grateful for just being here, because you never know when you're no longer going to be present. One minute you can be here and the next you can be gone. So love is my number one. I don't understand anything other than love, compassion, and understanding. Life, unity, and love. When I came out with that in, I want to say, it was in 2020 or 2021 when I came out with life, unity, and love, or it could have been 2022. I'm not sure. Don't quote me, y'all. Um, and I plan to make that a non-profit foundation, so that when I do move on from this world, the community will have something to go after. Life incorporates your health, mental health, anything that has to do with life. That's what life is about. Unity, being together, understanding, you know, reaching out one another and just loving one another, and just, you know, unity, you know, and then love conquers all and everything. um I think that's very important to understand, and I will continue to push that forward every single year in September. You know, I'm so grateful that September is the month of suicide awareness, um, especially on my birthday, through that birthday week, you know, wearing yellow, wearing blue. And I will just continue to aspire for those things. And I'm ready to start another year to do the same exact thing. And I don't give a fuck if you feel any certain type of way about it. We're here to make people feel beautiful, to make people feel wanted. And yes, that includes men. Men can feel beautiful. Men can, you know, like, it's important. It's important that we register our feelings. It's you know, history has repeated itself so many times before, and we just fall and keep falling, and it's just like we've tried so many things, and the things that we have tried have not worked in our favor. So we need to accept that now. Oh, I was just making sure that I was recording. We just have to accept that now those things have not worked. So we have to try something else to better ourselves and move ourselves forward. And I'm going to try anything possible to build a beautiful community where we can rely on each other. We don't have to go to other spaces where you don't feel welcomed, where you don't feel wanted, where you have to look over your shoulder, where you feel like someone is going to threaten you, somebody's going to hurt you, or something like that. Like, we should all feel wanted anyway. No matter your skin, your religion, your background, whatever it is, none of that. Somewhere where you could feel happy to walk inside and look to your like, what happened to us looking over our shoulder and giving grace to those people, you know? I think that's very important, and that's what I'm pushing forward for 2024. Finding my truth and finding that, I'm not weak, and, seeing the realness for what it is. Everyone that has followed me and support me throughout this year and that keeps pushing me forward and telling me that it is of importance for me to be here, thank you so much. I highly and truthfully appreciate you. And I reciprocate it. We're going through, again, very turbulent, hard times. And honestly, I want to say that it will get better, but it will be far from the truth. I believe that it will get harder, but I believe that when we can make our own little beautiful thing, that can at least keep us moving forward. And that's what's important. Keep us moving forward and not, I don't want to say not dwell on the negatives or anything like that, but just focus on the positive. And the thing is that I talk about the negative. I always want to hear the negative. Whenever I speak to anyone, any of my friends, anybody that I love, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how are you doing? I think that's something that we should incorporate, at least for next year, coming into next year. How can we be more compassionate? There's nothing other than you need to ask other than, how are you? How are you doing? That's the first question you should ever ask anyone or anything, whether you know them or not. Compliment people that look beautiful. I want to say step outside of your box. It's hard for me myself to step outside of my box, but it's very easy for me to compliment someone because I want them to feel better. And me giving that compliment to you makes me feel better. And that's something that I've also had to come to an understanding. I'm a people's person, and that is my weakness. My weakness is that I rely on people to be technically happy. And I think that this year, finding that understanding and protecting that, it has been able to give me strength and move me forward. And that's why I've chosen again to go back to the Atala butterfly. You should definitely research what the butterfly means. But it's just basically pushing us forward into strength and transformation. I feel like this year has transformed me into a way that I honestly don't even know myself. Like, I don't know how I've been able to just be here and keep doing what I'm doing. I don't understand that. And I think that's the beauty in believing in a higher power, in God, and allowing him, whenever you don't have that understanding, whenever you feel like you're out of the space of, you don't know where to look to, because we're individuals, we're persons, and we all battle through our own things. Your mother could be going through something, your father could be going through something, your best friend could be going through something. And in that moment, they may not be able to give you the advice or the things that you need in that moment. But if you can find a relationship with your higher power, your higher God, he will always have that answer for you. Even if you don't know it, he's the one that keeps you protected. He's the one that makes sure that you're still here. He's the one that keeps blessing you. And I think that once you find that understanding and you allow God to let be and let God, you would find happiness within yourself. And I'm honestly, truthfully present here to say that I found my happiness, and I found God. I honestly did found God, and that's why I'm content and I'm okay with everything. Like, only he has the power to change the outcomes. Only he has the power to know where you're going to head first. And the reason why I say this is because we're literally about to be in 2024. And this is the first year that I have never had someone that is close to me, or someone that's close to me, my family or anything like that, that has passed. And I think that that's a huge understanding for me. But again, God has shown me that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right things. And, I believe in Him. I know that He's putting me through every single obstacle to make me a stronger person and to mold me into who I'm going to be ultimately. And that's why now I just don't question Him. Honestly, I do not question Him because He's the one that knows everything. And, you know, being in Trinidad and Tobago, not having any communication with my family, not being able to see, I have a vision impairment problem, how was I able to come back to the United States, not being able to go through an airport, not being like, I literally cannot see the signs in the airport. I looked crazy as hell. Like, so many things could have happened to me through that process and through my journey. And the only way I was able to come through so many miles and so much was because of Him. Honestly and truthfully. And God showing me that there's still beautiful people here. That gentleman that gave me his shirt when he said to me, like, he literally was yelling for me. He's seen me. He's like, and that was God. I don't think it was anything else other than that. Angels that were protecting me and placing themselves in that plane to know, seeing the pilot, and the pilot just looked me dead in the eye, and knowing that something's going on, knowing that you think that there's no agents in those planes. They got to make sure that people are protected, like that journey, just going through an American Airlines airport, having, second, first degree burns with HIV. Like, that's just a journey and something that, I can only dictate and say. And that's whether people want to believe me or not. But my story is true for what it is. That molded me into something else. I had no phone coming back here. I had no way to communicate to my family. Like, and then divine timing. Now I know what divine timing means. Divine timing means is that no amount of technology, no amount of anything else is communication through a higher power that you can communicate with loved ones. And that's just something beautiful when you can have divine timing with someone. And to be able to understand that, I'm so grateful. I know that God is preparing me for something bigger. Whether it is I leave tomorrow or the next day, I'm content because I have a relationship with Him. And I know that whenever my day comes, He will send me home and I will be happy. I think that my journey right now is just finding happiness and growing into strength. Again, that's why I chose the Altala butterfly, is flying into strength. And again, choosing that butterfly and the significance of this era that we're going into 2024. The butterfly has been a very endangered species or an endangered butterfly for a very long time, but it has been able to recuperate and grow itself, but only in South Florida. And, it's such a significance, and it's just a lot. Honestly, I just hope for next year that every single thing that I aspire or I want to do, I'm capable of doing it without any problem, without any obstacle. My journey into coming to being this independent creative. And mind you, I could have signed contracts. I could have been out there. I can sell my body, go be a hoe. I can do all those things. But I haven't chosen that journey. I've chosen to be hard. I've chosen not the easy way out, but I've taken the longer path, the longer road to become successful. Not the easy way out, because I could have done that. And I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't know how I was able to come through this year. I do know, but the only thing that I know is God. He's the only one that has been able to push me through, because when I tell you I've had some dark nights, I've had multiple sleepless nights. I don't sleep at night sometimes. I'm afraid of the night sometimes because, like, so many things. And, just sitting here and knowing so much. Sometimes when you know so much, it's a lot to carry that weight. But I give grace and I give thanks to God to be able to allow allow my capacity to be able to have that, you know. I think that anybody else that was in this position would probably go crazy and would be in a mental institution or in a sane asylum if you were put in these shoes that I'm in. So all I can ever do is just give grace to God. And yeah, I had to make sure I sat here and made my end of the year video. I believe I didn't make one last year. My end of the year video last year was just, you know, pictures of myself and what I went through. And this year I just wanted to make sure I sat down and I spoke my truth. And I want to leave whatever happened in 2023 here. See, I have the pictures of my burn marks. I have the pictures of me weighing 100 pounds, being the skinniest I've ever been in my life since I was a teenager. Like, the skinniest. Like, my whole hand can wrap around my fingers. Like, I was really going through it. I wasn't eating. Like, that has been the worst I have ever been through. Like, starving myself, being burnt for someone that I trusted and I love, and then also being diagnosed all in the same breath. I think that's a lot for any person to go through, even if my worst enemy, like, I wouldn't technically wish that upon you either, because that was hard, you know? And again, I give thanks to those people in that hospital because I know that it was a hard task to deal with me too, because and they could have gave me, you know, they could have gave me a lot stronger medicine, whatever. They could have done so many things, but they took care of me. And I appreciate that. Those ladies that came into my room in Trinidad and gave me the uh, God sees, God uses ordinary people to, you know, Gideon. Is it Gideon or Gideon? I completely forgot. But basically, these two ladies came and they gave me a book. They knocked on my door and they were like, we pray on you?" I would never, like, you have to understand that, you know, whether you believe in religion or not. If someone is in has of interest to find the goodness in your heart and they're taking their time to show you love, to reciprocate it for you, whether you believe in it or not, accept it, allow it. This is not, they are not wishing negativity on you. They're wishing nothing but strength and power. You know what's so crazy? I went with this person, this friend of mine, to a baby shower of my family members. And my nephew's father, his wife is Jewish. And before I left, she just looked at me and she said, "Can I pray over you?" And I did not reject it. Why would I reject that? Because it's like a prayer, it's protection, it's, you know, and I feel like because I got that prayer, because I got that protection, that probably got me through Trinidad and Tobago, because that friend is no longer here. So, oh, I think my computer died, y'all. We're still recording. Sorry about that, y'all. Um, Being able to accept the fact of my brother's murder and being able to, you know, finding the understanding of it, because, excuse me, I've been battling through that every single day since 2018. February 9th, 2018. Every single day, and I'm not exaggerating anything about it. Every single day from that day forward, you can count how long that has been. He has been on my mind. Why? Because, you know, there's so many black and brown boys that is getting killed out here. And it's just crazy, you know, that you can't see past 25. You can't see past 30 now. Our generations are literally just disintegrating. Like there is a gap in our generations where, a lot of the people that I know in my generation no longer exist. And I think that, that is a problem. That is something that we need to do. And it clearly shows to you that violence is not the end result. Like, how are we able to coexist and to live in a society that's full of just violence and just wanting to destroy each other? Like, where are we going to end up? Like, we're humans. We're supposed to love each other. We need each other to be able to, coexist and live in. I think that it's crazy for us to just keep, you know, allowing the numbers to accumulate and just keep surpassing each other. And I'm not just here trying to talk about shit and just, keep ranting or whatever. I'm trying to speak things onto my experiences and what I have been through. It's not hypocrisy, but facts. And they're not opinions, because these are things that have happened and they're truthful. The thing is, an opinionated answer is something that never happened, but a fact is something that you can trace into history. That's something that cannot be altered. So I think that we need to live on the facts. I think that we need to just move each other forward and just, slow down and have fun, yes, but also be aware. I think that technology has also desensitized us, and I think that we just need to come back together and, not be so mean, not be so, ready to judge someone, because you just never know what someone has been through. I think that that's also weird. Like, you can just judge somebody based on appearance, and it's like, for me, I can't judge nobody because they're a human. That's how I think. I can't judge you because you bleed the same way that I bleed. So I cannot judge you. I have no right. I don't know where people think they have the right to judge somebody. You don't have that right. None of us have that right to judge someone, because we're all human and we make mistakes. And I do believe that people can change. I do believe that, there is a second chance at life. You made a mistake, you can learn from it. So I think that what I hope going into 2024 is, I honestly just hope, not because I want to make more money, because I'm like looking around, bitch, I don't see the money. I don't see anything. I've worked so hard for all these things. I don't see that stuff. That's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for whatever comes after me, because I'm already about to hit 30 years old. My life is almost over. And I can't let go of my childhood because of the amount of trauma that I went through. But imagine that. There's a lot of people that reciprocate the same thing that I have been through. Are we going to stop this cycle, or is it going to keep going on? And honestly, I don't want that for nobody else. I want them to be able to grow and be beautiful, and to not have to go through the same adversities that we have been through. All the trauma, all the fucked up things that we have been through because of the environment that we have grown through. And we don't need to be glorifying these things. I come from all the glorifications that you guys like glorify and try to make it seem like it's all trendy. It's not a trend.
Reminder. Time to log your 6:30 p.m. medications.
Y'all hear that? I hate pills. I hate pills. And for the rest of my life, I have to take a pill for the rest of my life. And I don't want to say that I didn't have a decision in that, because I did co-sign to the things that I did. And again, I don't regret it. But those are things also, if I would have not trusted in the person that I was laying my head with, and I just trusted in myself, and I did my own due diligence, I probably would not be in the predicament that I am in, that I have to take a pill every single day for the rest of my life. I don't regret that either, because throughout that, it has given me a better understanding and my purpose that, maybe this was chosen for me in this life. But yeah, for 2024, I just hope to grow in a way where I can travel and be fully sufficient and be able to take this gospel and to be able to talk to other people and find deeper connections and build a stronger community. That's all I want. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the accolades. I don't care about none of that. I've done this all by myself. Like I don't I don't see shit for that. Some people do it for the money, some people do it for the fame, some people do it for the fame, popularity, narcissistic shit, you know? I don't. I'm here alone. I do this by myself. I don't need to do this. I do this because it's my passion, because I love it. That's why I'm here. I could be spending my money on so many other things. I invest in myself and wanting to push the gospel forward, you know? Because I see it and I can't just turn my back on the things that I see and the hypocrisy that's being put out there. Influencers. Listen, do not believe everything that you see. A lot of the things, and it's only going to get worse. AI is coming, so you cannot believe the truth. There's going to be a lot of things you cannot no longer believe. But what does that mean? You need to learn how to decipher the truth. You need to learn how to find the truth for what it is and what is really right in front of you. Don't go based off of he say, she say. Don't go based off of social media. Go based off of what you see. What is right in front of you, what you feel, you're feeling how you feel. If they talking about your friend because your friend whatever, but your friend make you feel good, fuck them people. Go to your friend because your friend makes you feel good. Go to those things. You need to invest in the things that make you happy. Why? Because when you're happy and you go around the rest of the other people, they're going to be happy. When they're happy, they're going to go to other people and be happy. It's a trickle-down effect, you know? But it's becoming so hard to keep up with and to manage because there's so much lies. There's so much misinformation. There's so much hypocrisy going on. And it's not going to stop there. It's not going to stop anytime soon. Social media is here. It's going to stay here. Technology is here. It's going to stay here. You just need to learn how to decipher it and get through, you know? Don't believe everything. Even me, if y'all were to see where I come from and what's around me, I believe a lot of you will not follow me. A lot of you will not, you know, even listen to what I have to say because of my truth. But my truth is not something that, you know, I am embarrassed about. You know, I've experienced what I've experienced and I give God thanks for that. It has molded me and made me into a stronger person because of where I come from and where I have grew up in, you know? I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to live on your last dollar. I know what it is to not have what other people have. And I'm okay with that. I'm content. You think that I care about the person that has that Bugatti next to me? No, because that Bugatti, I can't live that life yet. That's not for me. That's not what God has put in my place for me to obtain and have right now. Because I can't have that. I may be not able to handle that at this very moment. And that's a lot of things that we also have to understand. Stop trying to be like the next person. Stop trying to be materialistic and trying to have the next thing that everybody else has out here. Stop trying to be like everybody else, you know? Stop being a follower, you know? Well, I'm not going to say, some people are followers and some people are leaders. You know what I'm saying? For me, in my case, I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. I don't have interest in what everybody else is doing. Not to be narcissistic or anything like that. I just have too much on my plate. I have too much going on to be worried about the negatives in somebody else's life. You know, if I'm not going to spew positivity onto you or whatever or anything like that, you're not going to see me. I used to be very negative. I have very negative spirits in me. However, like I said, I make sure that I don't spew out negativity. What I mean by that, you could be negative inside, but whatever you put out, make sure it's positive. It will be reciprocated. Stop trying to be like everybody else. There's a lot of people that keep following other people trying to be like everybody else. Social media is just so, It's just so, I use this for my platform. Do I like it? No, I don't. I don't like technology. I don't like social media. I don't like none of that. I do not. because it has desensitized us. It has stopped us from acknowledging our own emotions. Like, there's so many killings and so many things that are going on right now. Honestly, if you did not know about it, a lot of our emotions would be very much different. But because everything is being pushed onto you, you have so much easy access to information. It has changed and morphed our mindsets into other things. So now, whether you think your thoughts are your own thoughts, they're actually not. You are being influenced by other things to think and act this way, if you get what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is, if you are not strong-minded, if you cannot hold your own, you can be influenced to do that's everything that's going on now. It's an agenda. It is something that is being pushed onto us, and so on and so forth. Again, I don't care about the LGBT community and what they have, their agenda and all that shit that they have going on. I believe in wanting to be yourself and showing up to be yourself because it's important. Stop hiding who you are because it's of importance. Be who you want to be. And that's so important because we've hidden ourselves for so many years from who we try to be. And for me is I still have to get to that point where I have to fully accept myself because honestly I'm gonna sit here. But the truth is, look, I would love to go out and look cute. I would love to have my face be and wear the things that I want to wear. But it's not really like I can be hurt out here. People want to cause damage onto you. And that is why I can't be myself in society because they want to inflict pain. And that's why now it is important for people to show up and to be themselves. So I could not tell you, not trying to get off topic, but I could not tell you the amount of DL people I have seen in my life, the amount of DL people and for me is this. You could be DL, but if you have a wife, if you have kids, if you have stuff like that, sweetheart, what are you doing? I think you need to stop with your shit and you need to go to church. You need to figure out some things. You need to accept yourself for who you are and step out of that. You need to be truthfully yourself. And for me, those type of men are way worse than fucking trans. Let me tell you something about trans people. Some people live in their truth. Those are people that, they're fighting to be their fucking self. That is hard. That is fucking hard as fuck. I have a transgender nephew. And, I've been through so much. But me seeing him, I give grace to him because, wow, you can be yourself and live your truth. I could just imagine what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, I've seen that. I've seen DL men that have babies. And I will never be with that person. I will never do anything with that person. The first thing I'm going to tell them is you need to figure out your life because that's not okay. You are a part of the problem. You are a part of the problem. Again, we're not going to go into that. But 2024 is going to be an amazing year. I'm not going to say about the politics. I'm not going to say about none of that. What I'm saying is find your happiness. Find the people that love you. Live in your truth. Transform yourself. It's a time to find strength, to be strong, to be the utmost best version of yourself. It's 2023 changed everything. 2020 changed everything. 2020, okay, I can tell you like this. 2020 was the year of change. 2021 was the year of understanding. 2022 was the year of coming out of it. 2023 was the year of revelations, of understanding, of, seeing shit for what it is. 2024 is the year of transformation and falling into strength and finding yourself and finding the best version of yourself, Again, shit, I'm going to still be here regardless. I don't know how I did it 2023, and I'm going to keep pushing whatever it is. The train has to keep on going, whether I have a job or not or whatever it is. And I think that, when you love something and you have a passion for it, you don't stop. Keep going. It's important, especially now in these times. There is so many people. Yeah, those people that you see over there, a lot of them, and I'm not going to say whatever, because I come from that life, so I'm not gonna say whatever. But a lot of those people have dirty money. The dirty money is what is pushing them to be there and stay there. So at one point in time, I thought I was gonna be like, and I still can be, but I've came to understand I don't want to be famous. I want to be known, but I don't want to be famous. I want to stay independent. I want to have a voice where I can control my own voice, not where somebody else controls my voice for me, not where somebody dictates my voice for me. And a lot of those people that you see, their voice is being dictated. They are slaves to the system. Understand that. And again, there's an agenda that's being pushed behind it. So, for next year, I just want to continue everything that has happened positively throughout this year, amplify it, make it better, and to be able to grow. And honestly, I just want to travel and be able to build bigger and better and just find people that have the same understanding of what it is, Before I used to look and so many people there's so many people that have unfollowed me this year too. But I've also came to an understanding it's important that you're not growing if you don't lose people. Why? Because the past is the past and you have to move forward. You have to lose. You have to shed some type of skin. You have to let go of something. If not, you are not growing. Growth comes with letting go of things, with accepting that there's some things that you cannot move forward any longer because you cannot accept it. Not going to say that you're not going to meet back up with this person years later, whatever it is, but this moment in time, you and this person or whoever it is, whatever it is, don't see eye to eye. It's not the moment for the both of you. And to be able to accept that in the harshest, most deepest form, that's important, So next year, I don't know. I'm going to let God be God. I'm going to work. So because of all these months, I'm the type to I missed out on so much. I feel like I have to catch up, So I don't want to say that I most likely will not be back in January because I have to collect myself. I have a lot going on next year for sure. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but it will be a positive one. I'm excited for what it is. It's just going to be a lot. So whatever the journey is, I just gotta buckle up and get ready for it. January for me is going to be, because December's already done and January is literally in two or 3 days, right? I'm going to be working on the redesign for 2024 in January, like I did last year. I have a lot of health things that I need to get resolved and stuff like that. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to be back in January. Most likely January is just for the redesign. That's how it's been for the past 2 years. So that's what January is going to be about. So you guys may not see me. You're not going to see me as often. Just know that. Back when I used to post every week, next year it wouldn't be it. My banner is going to change, and it will not. I'm not. How would I say it? I'm not gonna try to. I do want to. How would I say? I do want to commit to something, but I don't want to commit to something that is impossible for me right now. So I'm not gonna commit to doing weekly videos when I can't provide that in this moment. However, monthly videos, yes, that will happen. But what I'm saying is that things will slow down for me, but I feel like because of slowing down for me, the quality is going to get better. what I'm starting to see, what I'm starting to realize is that as I'm posting every so often, even though I do keep you guys updated, but as I post every so often, because I don't post as frequent as I used to, my videos are getting a lot more play, a lot more views, and a lot more love. So I think that I just gotta slow it down a little bit more. And honestly and truthfully, next year I want to work on the background of everything. You know, as you guys may know, in 2020, I came out with Glamazon. You know, I came out with my Glamazon lashes. I have so many of them still here. I have so much inventory still here. So much stuff that I haven't been able to put out or whatever. And I feel like next year I just want to hone in on all the things that I want to do, especially, you know, going back to photography and all the stuff that I used to do. I feel like because of everything that I've went through, all the hardships, it has pushed me to step away from my passions, my real passions, the things that I need to be focused on, and the things that, like, bro, in 2020 I was able to create this by myself. Nobody, like, I didn't go out and find a graphic designer. I didn't go and choose a design from somebody else. I did this all by myself. I chose the designs. I took 3 months. You know how those influencers say, da da da. They don't do that. They go, they pick out the stuff, and then the brand does it for them. I don't have that. Thankfully, I was gifted with the mind that I have, and I'm able to do this all by myself. My money. I literally spent like $5,000 for my brand, just for my brand, point blank, period. And, you know, I want to be able to invest in that even more because I deserve that. I honestly deserve that. And just me sitting here and be like, damn, beating myself up. I beat myself up for so many years, and I don't think I deserve that. And I want to show people that, you know, you can make it out of some of the most difficultest time that you have ever been through. It don't matter where you come from. Just keep going, and, you know, you most likely, you will get to where you want to be with hard work. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I remember when I first started, I only had 50 followers. I remember when I first started. I remember when I first completely started makeup, like, and I was in my room, just, you know, how I am now, like, just not being happy, just being battling through depression, and, you know, being able to sit here now, like, look at my face. Do you see what my face used to look at back then and now? To be able to look back at growth and to see how you have grown is such a beautiful thing, you know? And I just want to keep growing, and I just want to see change. Honestly, that's really what I'm doing this for. I want to see change. I want to see things change for the better because we need it, and it's important, you know? I think that it's becoming very, very difficult. I remember somebody telling me, this one lady, she was like, we were talking about children, and she's like, you sure you want children? I'm like, yeah, that's the only answer that I have. Everything that I've worked for in my life, and, you know, my history and my career, and, you know, being a model and influencer, photographer, makeup artist, all of that. You know, I want to be able to carry that over. I don't, you know, just want to pass and that's it, you know? But now I see why she's saying that, you know, it's difficult, you know, to have kids in this world. Do you want these children to go through such hardships and through such fucked up shit that's going on in this world, and control, and it's just sad and hard to accept. So that's been dwelling on my mind too, and just getting to that age because I've planned out my stuff, you know? I planned out my stuff for a long time. When I was younger, when I was 18 and I graduated from Miramar High School, I told myself, I laid out what I wanted to do through my career. I've done it. I've done it. I may not be rich. I may not be rich, but I've done it. And I still want to fulfill that, you know? So I think that 2024, in my eyes, outside of everything else that will transpire, because I think that we do have to accept it is going to be a year. Um, I think that, we just got to hold ourselves accountable and we got to be present. We have to look out for one another and, stop following people that, don't do nothing for you. If you eat, that includes friends and family. There's friends and family that don't do shit for you, don't support you, don't talk to you, don't whatever. Yeah. I kid you not how many people I have unfollowed throughout this year. And I'm going to keep unfollowing y'all. I'm just giving it time. Like, even if I have to hit 0, I don't care. I honestly don't care. I don't want people to think that I'm narcissistic or I'm conceited or I only think about myself. But the truth is, through this journey, I've only had myself. I don't want to say that either because I do have my friends that check up on me and are with me too. So aside from them and aside from my direct group, small group that I can count in my hands, that make sure I'm okay, I've done this journey by myself and through my own shoes. And no, everybody does not have to go through that. And no, that is not acceptable. You're not supposed to go through that. You're supposed to, whenever a child or a person or anything, it takes a village to create that, to build that, to make that beautiful, that is not good for someone to have to be by themselves, for a child to have to go by themselves, for a child to have to be adopted, so on and so forth. If you get what I'm saying. It happens. Is it okay? No. But it's also a choice to continue to keep doing that or to not accept that and to step in and to say, it's not supposed to be like that and I'm not scared. That's another thing. A lot of y'all are scared to step up and to be something. I'm not scared. I'm not scared to pass on. I'm not scared to whatever. Like that's just something that, being scared is, I don't know. I don't understand that. But I'm going to move forward because I think I've been here for like an hour, 2 hours. I don't know how long I've been on this thing. But I just had to go on a rant and end this year off. Being able to send messages to like very famous people and them, talking back, following me and stuff like that. I'm not trying to boast or be conceited or whatever. That has shown me that, there is value in what I'm doing and that I'm in the right place and that I'm headed to what's important. I just want to see change. I think that's the most important thing. Transformation. Transformation is change, Um, endurance. That's part of the Atala butterfly. Endurance, um spirituality, that's another thing about the Tala butterfly, like so yeah, my era for 2024 is going to be black and blue. We're going to continue that on. I am very much excited. I am so happy that I'm going to be undetectable. I already know that I'm undetectable because the last time they checked me, it was like at 30. So I'm doing good. My skin is good. I'm happy about that because I was battling through that. I was fighting my deep depression. That's also why I did not come on here because I've been battling through so many things by myself. And I don't expect anyone else to understand what I'm going through because this is my body and what it's going through. I don't expect my friends to understand the amount of why I'm scratching my skin or like why I feel ugly or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, vanity is one thing, but when you've seen your body be a certain way for so long and to appreciate that and love that for a certain way and for that to be taken away from you, you you can't, how do you accept that? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just um didn't want to come on here and show a version of myself that I didn't feel like it was acceptable. Not because um not because how would I say it? Not because I want like I don't know how to say it. Like not because I just want to think whatever. I just didn't want to be on camera because I just wasn't happy, and I didn't want to show that version to myself so people can, you know, use like swallow that and reciprocate it or whatever it is. So I'm happy that I know where my health is. I'm happy that everything is moving in a positive way and is moving forward. I'm happy that I'm able to tell people that outside of whatever you choose to do, even if you go be a hoe, I wasn't a hoe. I'm just saying. I was in a 5-year relationship committed with someone that lived under the same roof that I did. Let that sink in and let that be known. Okay? I was not being no hoe. Just let you know that. Okay? Um that you can still be someone and not have to worry like I did. I would always worry about that, you know? And I think that now, honestly, it's important. And I think that we should all incorporate getting your status, knowing what it is, whether you are a woman or a man. Even if your man is, whatever, I think we should all, if y'all having sex and you don't trust your man, you should be over there in the red building. You need to take your ass to, say for instance, here, Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Go to the red building, AHF. Don't be scared. Why do people feel like it's okay to shun people because of that? Like there is cancer. You gonna shun people for cancer? It's the same thing, And I think that it's important for us to amplify our sexual health. It's important for us to know our status. It's important for us to, normalize knowing who and what you want to be and what outcomes you want to come out of it. So I think that because of this journey and this process, again, I'm able to advocate for your sexual activity and just knowing your status. If you know that your partner isn't a committed partner to that relationship, sweetheart, maybe you should go get yourself checked out, because it's not for him or it's not for her, it's for you, and to make sure that you're okay. Because the truth is, if you wait a long time, it can turn into something that progresses where it cannot be changed. And for me, I was able to save myself, thank God, and I was able to beat AIDS. HIV is one thing, but AIDS is another thing. Once you get to AIDS, sweetheart, there's no going back. All we can do for you, sweetheart, is just pray. So I advocate for that so much, because we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be loved, no matter who you choose to be with. We all deserve to be in a good space, mentally, physically. All of that matters, and I think that even though we are starting to now kind of, find acceptance in different relationships and that, we also have to normalize getting ourselves checked out. I would never forget that lady that told me, make sure you get your status, make sure like my husband, he's a porn star and stuff like that or whatever, but I also make sure I take care of myself first. And the only reason why she spoke to me is because she told me just like this, you're so beautiful.
Time to log your 6:30 p.m. medications.
They keep as you can see, Big Tarvy is calling me. There it goes again. She made sure, she told me, she's like, the only reason why I'm telling you is because she was looking at me and she was so sincere with what she said, and I highly believe it. I just wish, I don't wish anything. I can't change anything, that has already transpired. But I would never forget that voice that she told me and she left in my head. And that's just the truth that came from a woman that told me. She's like, make sure you get your status, make sure it doesn't matter, whatever it is. You're young, you're beautiful, it's important. And now I'm doing the same thing that she's saying. Make sure you know your status, make sure you get yourself checked out, and it's not for nothing. I don't care. I don't find no shame in what I am. I'm beautiful. I'm young. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm going to continue to be happy. I'm going to continue to be healthy. If you don't want to fuck with me, that's okay, whatever. I got good pussy. Don't fuck with me, bitch. I got all good whatever. I got good love over here. I don't before I used to push myself down. I used to talk down to myself. I still do. I still have my moments or whatever it is. But you also have to accept that there is way worse out there than there is of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just like I've accepted it. I love myself. And, we got to keep moving forward. I also know that there's a lot of people that are living with the same condition and they're just not. Let's say this is what I started to realize. Being on those little apps or whatever, a lot of people have started to put their actual status on there. And I am so in support of that. There's no reason for you to hide who you truthfully are. You shouldn't. You should be beautiful. You should accept yourself truthfully for who you are. If you went through this journey and you overcame it, that's beautiful. There's a lot of people that have died behind this disease, behind this diagnosis. And, we live there's positive things and negative things. The positive, you're still here, you're still breathing. You have overcame something that is so huge and it's an epidemic that what it was before, and now that we're in the future, we're able to hear and advocate for those that didn't have the same, that didn't or don't have the same outcome that you do. So I'm gonna continue to amplify that voice. Anyways, I'm done ranting. I'm done going off. I don't know how long I've been here, y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much. I know that so many influencers say the same shit, but I genuinely mean that. If it wasn't for you guys, honestly, I don't know, like, the messages that you guys sent me, the encouragement, thank you. I appreciate it. I love it. I encourage it. I reciprocate it. I hold it dear to my heart. And I just wish everyone happiness, health, prosperity, abundance. I hope you're able to find someone that loves you and cares for you and cherishes you as you should, no matter your sexual preference, no matter the color of your skin, no matter if you're big, if you're small or you're skinny, I wish nothing but happiness for you, for your family. And yeah, it has been an amazing year. Aside from all the negatives, I'm going to give grace for all the positives that we have been able to, encourage and take in throughout this year. And that's what I live for. So it has been an amazing year. I said it last year, but this one has been such an example. I have no other words to say but thank you, and I'm highly appreciative, and I can't wait to see what 2024 has to offer for us. And yeah, I love you so much. Stay beautiful. Stay amazing. Wear it very, very well. Go out there and find what your heart desires. Love you. KJ, out. Bye 2023. Period.